What's 9 times 13? What's 9 times 13? 117. All right, what's 9 plus 13?
5.
Okay, what's 1 times 13? And 1 plus 13?
5.
What's negative 3 times 7?
Negative 21.
Negative 3 plus 7. Positive 4. Okay. Now, on the next one, we don't have one of the sides. So since we have this bottom piece, we can do 25 minus 15. What is that going to give me? And then 10 times 15. Okay. On the next one, we have the multiplication and we have one of these sides. So what's negative 27 divided by negative 3? And then what's 9 plus negative 3? What's negative 108 divided by 9?
Negative 1.
Okay. And then what's 9 plus negative 12? All right, how we do? So on this first one, we're trying to simplify. What are factors of 125? 5 and 25. Okay, what can 25 be broken down into? 5 and 5. Now, this, we're going to have a pair, and we're going to pull out a pair. And what are we left with on the inside? 5. Ta-da, that's simplified. Okay. On the next one, we're dealing with an index of 3. So what I mean by that is right here, it's got a 3 in that little cubby hole, right? So give me factors of 24. 6 and 4. Can I break 6 down into what? 3 and 2. What about 4? Can I break that down? Okay. Now, since the index is 3, that means that I have to have a group of 3 in order to pull something out. So we've got this 2, 2, and 2. So we're going to pull out a 2, and then we're going to leave the 3 on the inside. Now, looking at the variables, we have 5 x's. So we got 5 x's. And we're trying to make a group of 3. So how many groups are we going to have? 1 group with how many left over? Okay. Same thing with our y's. We've got 5 y's. We want to make a group of 3. How many groups are we going to have? 1 with how many left over? Ta-da. Yeah. Okay. So we've got 2 c's. Can we make a group of 3 of that? No. That's just going to stay inside the radical. What about the d's? We've got 3 d's. How many can we pull out? We can make 1 group. What about e's? We've got 4. How many groups? Remember, we're pulling into a group of 3. How many groups are we going to have? 1 group, and then 1 left over. Somebody in my last class asked me if they could write this as DE. Yeah, normally what they're going to want you to write it out as is in alphabetical order. So DE, cubic root of C squared E. Okay, I would take both of these. Okay. On the next one, what can I break 216 down into? 36 and 6. What can I break 36 down into? And remember, we're trying to get into a group of 3, right? So we've got how many 6's? 3. So we can pull that out of the radical. And then we have 6 A's. But I can break that into 2 groups, right? So that would be 6A squared. Is there anything left underneath the radical? No. So I just get 6A squared. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna multiply the outside. So what's 2 times 5? Thanks, babe. And then what's 40 times 2? Can I simplify 80? 8 and 10. Okay, I can break down 10 into 5 and 2. I can break 8 down into 4 and 2. I can break 4 down into 2 and 2. Now remember, our index is 3. So I'm going to make a group of 3. So that's going to give me 10 times 2 on the outside, cubic root. What we're left with on the inside is 5 and 2. So that's going to be multiplied back together to get 10. And we can simplify what's on the outside. That's going to give us 20 radical 3, cube root of 10. So on number 6, we're going to simplify each of these and then see if we can combine them. So what's the square root of 16? 4, great, awesome. Fix it. What's the square root of b squared? So that's like saying there's 2 b's and I want to make a group of 2. How many groups am I going to have? 1 b, okay? On the next one, can I break 48 down? Yeah, into what? 24 and 2. Can I break 24 down into 12 and 2? Can I break 12 down into? And can I break 6 down into? Okay, again, our index is 2, so that means that if we find a pair, we're going to circle them and move them outside the radical. So this is going to give me 4 radical 3. Now we have 8 b's. Okay, how many groups are we going to have? 4. So there should be 4 b to the 4th, 4 b to the 4th, cube root of 3. And then this last one, because we still have to break down this last part. This is going to give me 32 can break down into what? 2 and something. 16.
16 and 3.
We can break 16 down into 4 and 4. So we can actually just stop right there because we see a pair. We can pull out the 4. And that b, we only have 1, so we can't break that down. So if we combined all of our stuff, we would get this hot mess. We can't combine anything together because it's not the same underneath the radical. Okay, can you try 7 and 8? Okay, so on this one, we're going to get 50 times 5, which is going to give us 250. We've got that x squared and y to the 7th. Now we're going to break this down. So what can we break 250 down into? 25 and 10, yay. And then 25 can be broken down into 5 and 5. 10 can be broken down into 5 and 2. So if we have any repeats, we're going to pull those out. We're left with 5 times 2, which gives us 10. If we have x squared, and we want to break it down into 2 groups, we can pull out an x. And then if we have y to the 7th, then we could have y to the 6th with 1 y left over. JK. So it'd be, I'm going to rewrite this. 5x y to the 3rd. Yeah, that's right. Sorry. 250 times 10. I'm sorry.
Yeah, like 250.
X squared y to the 7th. Y to the 7th. So if I were to ask you the perimeter of this triangle, what would you tell me? What does the perimeter mean? We're going to add up to all sides, right? Okay, so we're going to write out an expression. So we're going to say 2 square root of 3 plus the square root of 3 plus the square root of 20. Now, if we were going to determine the perimeter, we would have to make sure that's in simplified form. So for instance, if we take the square root of 20 and we break it down, we're gonna have 5 and 4, and then 2 and 2. So this could be rewritten as 2 square root of 5. Right? Now, all right, so when we combine our like terms, we're gonna get 2 plus 1. So that's gonna give us 3. We're gonna have 3 square root of 3. And this square root of 20, remember we broke down as 2 radical 5. That can't be combined with anything, so we're just gonna write it off to the side. So remember, area for a triangle is 1/2 base times height. So when I plug that in, our base from this problem is square root of 3, and our height is 2 square root of 3. So square root of 3 and 2 square root of 3. Now we can only multiply what's on the outside, so 1/2 times 2 gives us 1. And on the inside, we have 3 times 3, which is 9. What's the square root of 9? 3. So that 1 that's out front, I took 1/2 times 2. Yeah. You can use the calculator on the test or on the mastery check. No, you cannot use Desmos on the mastery check. You can use that on the test. Yes. Okay. So here's the next thing. On your mastery check, they're going to talk about a square. They're not going to talk about a triangle. Area for a square. Length times width. So if I say that the square has this side length, which is square root of 3, then what's the side length for the length over here? If it's a square. So it's going to be the same thing, which is square root of 3. So if I'm trying to find the area, I'm just going to multiply square root of 3 times square root of 3. Okay.